मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा निराशीर्निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः। मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्य. See, this shloka is so important that it will be better if you can memorize this one. This is a wholesome treatment. A man in action should act in this way. Now, which man is not in action? Every man is in action only. Because somehow or the other we have to perform activities. But, you know what happens? That I get motivated only by my desires. Even a child gets motivated to do something only if he desires to do so. If the parents instruct him to do something which is not much of his liking, then he would not like to do it. So he'll try to make some excuses. So some people go to the office, to the job, and they come back very tired at the end of the day. So one question comes up in mind, that why the man gets tired of activity? Only because it seems that it is a load on him. The activity of your liking never tires you. The activity of not liking, undesirable, undesired, not desirable, undesired activities tire you. So the child can play for 4 hours constantly, but can't sit and study for half an hour. Within half an hour, the child gets tired, wants to eat something, wants to drink something, wants to take a round, etc. But what about play? So he can go on and on and on for hours, and the same habit remains as we grow up also. So one fine day he comes very tired back home, so one can understand, so the activity that he had to carry out in office was not much of his liking. So he was pushed into some kind of... Everyone would have chosen one's own field of activity. In spite of that, there will be certain jobs which you don't want to do. But it's part of the game, so you have to go through it. So therefore, the couple before marriage is very happy, and after marriage, therefore, there are problems. Because there are some added such activities which are unwanted or undesired. But before that, it was all, by choice that you were meeting and you were having a nice time, etc. Where that responsibility wasn't there, so you were having good time with each other. So similarly over here, Bhagavan says, if suppose this is what motivates you, then it will definitely have a problem created for you. Why? Because these gunas will have impact on you. The gunas, in fact, are the cause for a certain type of desires. And those certain type of desires, over and above that, you as an ego, you are attached to those desires. And those desires are motivating you to act. Therefore, there is attachment. There is a hassle. There is anxiety. There is this wait for fruit. Now Bhagavan says, do one thing. Mai sarvani karmani sannyas. Renouncing all your activities unto me. Adhyatma chetasa. Focusing your mind onto me. Nirashir nirmamo bhutva. Giving up all the hopes of future fruits, desired fruits, and having no doership, dropping the ego, yudhyasva. Now fight. Without disturbing your mind. Okay? Vigata jvaraha. Without agitation of mind. Fight. So, now what is the purpose of, leave aside fight. What can be the purpose of activity for that man that he is not hoping for any fruit, doesn't have the happiness of doership, he has dedicated all his activities to God, about whom he doesn't even know, just because Bhagwan says, who is this Bhagwan? He says, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. Why should I renounce all my activities to him whom I don't even know? And then focusing on me. So somebody will say, okay, I believe in Sri Krishna, though I haven't seen him. And if he says so, okay, I'm ready to give up my actions to him. But then, will I focus on him or should I work on my table? How can that be possible? When I'm doing satsang, I'm in satsang. When I'm in the office, I don't even think of Sri Krishna. Why should I think of Bhagavan at that time? I better think of my boss. So, this is not possible. When a person comes to this particular shloka, he would like to fold the book and keep it away. Why should I go ahead with this kind of an instruction which is so impractical? So these type of shlokas sometimes put off the reader also. And therefore, they'll say, this karma yoga, etc. only for those who have renounced the world. For grihasthas, this is not possible. See, this is a very good excuse for grihasthis not to follow the path of spirituality. Best thing. The Bhagavad Gita is for all those who are in activity. Do you mean to say that you have to be a grihasthi to be active? Do you mean to say that vanaprasthis and sannyasis have nothing to do? The sannyasins also are working very hard. So, this is a kind of spirit with which the grihastha will have to work. So, what should be the right spirit while putting ourselves into activity? So that we enjoy life to the best, at the same time we don't deprive ourselves of the blessings of the Supreme Divinity. Won't that be a good proposal? It will be a wonderful proposal. If that can happen, who won't like to do that? So let us look at the shloka once again. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. Earlier also Bhagwan, whenever he says in the first person, he is actually talking about Brahman, the supreme consciousness which is all pervasive. Here we have taken him as a particular form, Sri Krishna. Okay? So it is not that only Sri Krishna is telling this. This is what is the voice of consciousness. Now look at this beauty of this shloka. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. So if I dedicate all my activities to the Supreme Consciousness, then definitely, first of all, I am acknowledging the conscience in me, and secondly, I am not stepping over my conscience. So, keeping the consciousness in front of me, superior to me, I am dedicating my activities to the consciousness, which definitely will motivate me only for all good, virtuous and positive activities. Because the divine or the conscience in me can never allow me to do anything which is contrary to the consciousness, which can be harmful not only to myself but for the world around also. So this particular activity as an offering to the consciousness is definitely superior to any activity that can be carried out with the spirit of selfishness. when I consider the benefit of all, I am also a part of all, therefore I won't be deprived of anything, should be very well understood by the person who wants to practice this. So he is never deprived of the benefits that the others are going to get anyway, because he is the means for others to gain as well. Then Adhyatma Chetasa. When the mind is well focused on the divine, then definitely it is very quiet and happy from within. So that cheer in the mind intellect equipment will enhance the quality of output also. Because there is a happiness in performing the duty. It is no more a load. And it's a very thoughtful activity, because the intellect is also not disturbed due to the mental disturbance. So the mind is quiet and the intellect is fully functioning. And then Nirashi. This is a very important word for the efficiency of the doer. That when the doer has dropped the doership, nirmamatva, when the doer has dropped the doership, so he is not claiming to be the doer, so he is no more having the anxiety of being the enjoyer. Nirashi he has become. The doer gets the fruit, right? Today or tomorrow. At some point of time in future, he gets the fruit. So the doer is satisfied that since I am doing this at present, so definitely it's going to fetch fruit. So I need not wait for it. At the right time it will come. I won't even know when it comes. So the whole focus is in present. And if not so, then his mind is already jumping in future, and therefore there is already an anxiety. So think of those Olympic athletes. If they lose the focus of their mind at that present moment, then do you mean to say that they can win? They cannot. If the anxiety is already there, what will my countrymen say if I don't bring a gold medal? Finished. Now that person will never be able to bring it. So every athlete will focus on the performance, not the prize. So excellence in work can be possible if there is no anxiety of fruit in the mind. So that is what is called as nirashi, to be nirashi. It is not hopelessness. It is to do without expectation. And nirmamatva, okay? I-ness. This I is so conditioning that the moment I think of I, then definitely I along with the three gunas is there. So there will be a fear. There will be worries of the past. Not that all the time we are successful. So this I already spoils my activity. Therefore, Yudhyasva, Bhagavan says, Arjuna, the moment you thought of I, you already had a horde of relatives all around you in both the armies. If you think of consciousness, if you would have thought of consciousness, then in all your previous battles also, you were, having fights, and so many would have been killed by you, At that time, you never tried to, run away from the battlefield. Then why this time? Because of this I-ness. The moment you have this mamatva, I-ness and my-ness, definitely you have your own people around you. So now there is anxiety. That has already disturbed your mind. That has already created agitation in your mind. This agitation has deluded you about your own duty. You can't even perform your duty properly. The best example can be of these surgeons, They never do surgery on their own family members because there is this anxiety. The best of the surgeon also will, refer to another surgeon. The case will be referred to his friend. Please do this surgery. Why? My wife, my son, it could be, my brother, father, mother. Yudhyasva. That spirit of fight goes down the drain the moment there is this I-ness and my-ness. It creates jwara. It creates agitation. So Bhagavan says no. Dedicate your activities to Him, the Supreme. Renounce I-ness and do. This shloka needs to be memorized because of this. We need to do every small activity of day-to-day life in this spirit so that ultimately we can develop this kind of attitude while working, which will ultimately help me to break the bondage of transmigration. It cannot happen overnight. This has to be developed. This spirit has to be developed. Karma yoga. Yoga will be possible only in this manner. Bhagavan has already told, but he endorses his instruction. In the coming shloka, he endorses it again.